Okay, hi YouTube. This is part 4, the IHOPs. I mean, this IHOP. I play an IHOP a lot. I was under the impression this person was 2100 rated. I guess I got him mixed up with someone else, but I mean, it's fine. Yeah, alright, so he's one of these people. He's a French player. That's fine. I was just playing what I knew. Thanks for the gift sub, Latin Blonde. Yay! Okay. To chess tennis. Okay. So I played f4. This is like my third time playing this line. I mean, so I don't really get all the nuances yet. I'm not gonna be playing it exactly the same anymore because I'm kind of pissed off, honestly. But alright, at the person who recommended this shit. Okay, so this is all fine. This is normal. Then he played a6, and I played a3. Okay, so at the Colorado Open, James Neal played this against me, but he kind of mixed systems, and he played bishop e7 here, which just doesn't make any sense. And all I knew, the comment that was written in the book, also to be fair, it was a quick starter, so it's like, maybe, there's more shit in the other, the rest of the lines. But all he wrote was like, b5, we take, and then we play b4, and that's like the point of a3, and so this doesn't make sense. And that's true. I'm like plus 1.5, plus 2 here. But he didn't consider this move, which is just like the best move. So it's like kind of strange that you would do that. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you ever do that? I know it's a quick starter, but why wouldn't you look at the best move in the quick starter and the obvious one? Why would you look at the one that's just bad? I don't understand. So I got screwed, basically. It just led to this very strange position. I mean, it's fine. I'm like, it's equal, but I mean, I have the white pieces, and he played the French. He shouldn't be okay. That's what I think. Against James Neal, it was a little different. He was down a tempo, sort of. I already had Queen D2 in since he wasted a move with Bishop E7. And he took with the knight, and it was this type of thing. It was something like this, and it was just very, very solid, and I blockaded on E3, and I got a very good position there. But here it's a little different, because there are no dark-squared bishops. I played bishop D3, it seems like a pretty decent move. His plan might be like, knight b6 might be annoying at some point. Maybe not now, but at some point. But this move is also extremely annoying. Queen b6 is extremely irritating, because, okay, I can't castle, and he just has all this control that he doesn't deserve, frankly. I really don't understand how he can possibly be okay here if you just look at his bishop and his pawns and his dark squares. Why is that okay that he can give up his dark squared bishop with all these weaknesses and have the worst light squared bishop in the world and be fine? I thought that was disgusting. Okay, and then here, initially my initial plan was to play Queen E2, but I thought this was a pain in the ass. So I played Queen D2, so at least it's not with a tempo if he wants to do that shit. But my queen doesn't really want to be on D2. My queen wants to be on E2, so that I'm, on the light squares, and my queen can help with attacks if he castles. But I don't know, it seemed like it made sense. I can also play Queen F2, which was my other idea. He played Bishop B7. And here I made kind of a weird judgment call. I just don't know if it's good or not. It seemed like it made sense. So I don't know what to do here. I feel like my plan changes depending on what he does with his king. And I kind of want to wait and see what he does. If he commits to just keeping it in the center, I mean, he can't really castle either way. They both look pretty bad. But here I just don't know what my plan is, because if I just go Queen F2, I thought he was going to do this. I was like, I don't know, like, I just didn't like how this looked. Or just Rook C8. No, Rook C8 is what I was thinking. F6 at some point, but probably not here. It's like, I don't know. I don't know about all this. I kind of wanted to hold off on any big decisions that were, you know, I can't reverse. So I decided to play knight g5, and the reason I did this was because I thought provoking h6 made some sense, and I thought it was worth a tempo to force him to make a weakness. And, you know, like, further down the line, I might, like, push the g-pawn, or something like that. And also it allows, like, sometimes tactics where you take and you have put a piece on g6. Also, I was just kind of didn't know what to do, and now it's his move, but he has a weakness. So I basically I moved his pawn to h6 and hit the clock. That's kind of what happened. Okay, but then he played rook c8. I played knight e2, which makes sense. I mean, just, I don't know, seems like it makes sense. You go here. And then he went rook c7, and I could not figure out this move. I find it incredibly infuriating that this is allowed. I don't like that it's like people are just allowed to play chess this way. I find it really disgusting and off-putting. Thanks for the sub, Sam. Yay! New subscriber. Okay. Yeah, rook c7's, like, I asked him about it after. He's also just kind of doing nothing. He also doesn't know what the plan is. And, you know, you further down the line, you could double rooks. You know, the queens are traded, so it's king safer. And what I should do here is play c3. But c3, like, was kind of a hard move to make, I thought. Again, I should have calculated here instead of looking at it and just, like, making an intuitive judgment. I thought that was, like, kind of a weakening move, especially because he's setting up to double the rooks, and, you know, he can't ever build up much pressure on my c-pawn when the bishop is on d3, and they were, like, holding the position together nicely, I thought. But it takes so many moves for him to get a rook to c8 and do anything meaningful, and I'm just going to put my knight on d4. So it's just good. Plus, all my pawns are on dark squares, and I have a light squared bishop, and all his pawns are on light squares. He has a light squared bishop, so it's a good bishop versus bad bishop. Plus, look at his fucking pieces. They're so stupid. Okay. But, I played knight g3 because, I don't know, I felt like I didn't want to make a weakness. And, you know, I could sometimes play knight h5. That's kind of my whole thing. Like, I made a weakness here, and now I'd like to go after the king. But then he goes here, which I wasn't impressed with, because, okay, so I take, and I play rook d1. You know, I saw this idea before I played knight g3. And his idea is that he's trading the queens, but, like, who gives a fuck? I just go back to a1. And now I have, like, an a4 push that I'm thinking about, and his rook is misplaced. Now I go back to e2 and kick his rook back. I have the d4 square for my knight, and his bishop is just terrible. His knight can go to b6 to c4, but it's not really doing anything there. I can just ignore it. So yeah, I thought I was doing fantastic here. But it's just equal, I guess. But I think that's so fucking tilting that this is equal. I hate that. So he played knight b6, which is fine. I played knight e2. He played rook c7. I played knight d4. Played king e7. I made a bad move because I misunderstood what was happening. So it makes sense now, but there's a problem here that he has f6 break. Oh yeah, I mean, also that, like, if he ever plays f6, I play king d2, rook e1, and there's too much pressure on the e-pawn, I can play f5 at some point, maybe, or even bishop f5, my rook's on e1, so yeah, there's that too. Also, f6 weakens all the light squares over here. So, yeah, I just, like, I don't know, I think I was overestimating my position, but can you blame me? Look at his pieces. Okay, so I played knight b3. And I apparently it's just good for him to just give me a pawn. Because, I mean, like, I understood that that might be something he could do, but I didn't think it was worth giving up a pawn. Or, I mean, it's probably worth it because his bishop is not even a piece if he doesn't do that. But I was like, I'm up a pawn. What's the problem? He didn't play d4, but he definitely should. Because now he's playing rook d8. I don't know if I would even take on d4 if he played that. I'd have to think about it. But yeah, his rooks are, like, active now, and his bishop's good, and his knight's got the d5 square. So yeah, that's, like, a pretty terrible oversight, positional oversight, on both of our parts. I just thought that the c5 square was good. And yeah, it looks pretty, but it's not really doing anything. Like, even if I get my knight on c5, like, who cares? It's kind of like him having his knight on c4. It's not... he can just ignore it, and I can just ignore it. Sometimes he can even sack an exchange, and might even be good for him. But he just played knight a4, which I thought was a pretty bad move. I feel like this move was on par with how bad my move was. So, you know, it evened out. So he stopped me from playing knight c5, and I think I should honestly just go back, and if he repeats, then I'll play something else, like king d2 or something, you know. But I wanted, I didn't get it. So I've just played king d2 here. And he played g6. So I want to play g4. Right now it's not so great. So I played rook f1 to get this out of here, because I saw that, I'll have this and this will be fine. And I was like, cool. And if he plays h5 after rook f1, I was like, okay, g3 and then h3, g4. But for some reason, okay, now he plays d4, and it might be even better here. Because in the other position, he wasn't threatening to take this pawn, because I would play rook g1 and take on g7. But since the pawn is on g6, which is, I guess, was his whole idea, now this is kind of a bad move. So I didn't do that. Yeah, and here was my oversight, alright? If I just play g3, it's just dead equal. But I played g4, and he played h5, and in my head I was like, I play h3 and it's fine. But then when I got here, like, it didn't occur to me his rook was coming in. And it's not like I wasn't spending my time. I spent all of my time in this game. By the end of the game, I had less than a minute and he had an hour left. I just am extremely weak when it comes to... It's not even a tactic, it's just like... Just make these strange oversights. But... it's just weird. Like, it was fine when my rook was on h1, but I had to move my rook to get rid of this threat, and now it's not fine. So here, I played rook f2, and I played rook g1, and I thought this was an interesting try, at least. Because if he plays rook h4, now I take, and he doesn't have rook d8, and I was like, alright, this is interesting, at least. I don't know. But he plays this move. And if I just go here, it was his rook d8. So I can't ever really take that if he has rook d8. It's just, like, too weak. Did I make fun of you for telling me to play over the board? Or did I make fun of you for assuming it was as simple as, if I want to play over the board, I can just do it? Or was it that I didn't like that you were just, like, telling me, like, how to live my life better than, like, I would know how? Fuck, you remember. No, I don't. I'm assuming. But knight c5 now I think is a blunder because of this. Like, there's a few cases where this is actually, like, a really strong move. Because if I just take, he plays bishop f3. And this knight is really, really good. This knight is better than a rook. This bishop's better than both my rooks. This rook is better than both my rooks. And I'm like, this rook doesn't have any real moves. I mean, all my pieces are in each other's ways. And You know, he has simple plans. So I was thinking at least that would be not good. I mean, he doesn't have to take here. He could just play bishop f3, but yeah. So I played the okay, I played like the only move that's not completely losing. So I take on g4, and now he has this very strange idea. Knight b1, king c1, knight a3. And you know, I saw this, but I didn't think it was that great, because like his knight's kind of dumb. I only have one like decent move here, and I didn't play it. I thought my move made a lot of sense though, actually. My move is more like a practical try to not, you know, to get some play. Let me see. I still have my score sheet from this. Yeah, I do. I can actually tell you how much time I had. So I had like 32 minutes here, and he had 68. And I decided to play f5. And my idea was that if he takes the natural way, he takes f, which he did, you know, side to, or center to side, because it's an endgame, you know. Then I take with the rook. And now this knight is like semi-trapped, because I'm gonna play knight c5 now, and if knight c4 ever happens, I take, and I'm getting a pawn, and like I messed up his pawn structure, and I have the plan of h5, h4, and undermining the light scored pawns, and I feel like I at least have some counterplay here. Taking with the knight, I mean, it's like it's just like my knight doesn't really want to be on d4. It would prefer to stay on b3 and like maybe go to c5. So that's why I played f4. So he played rook c8, and I played knight c5. I was a little concerned about this, but I thought it would be okay. It's a little scary. He gets 2 pawns for the exchange. But I mean, I think I can hold this without too much, you know, struggling. So I was a little nervous about that, but I think that's fine for me. He played this move a5, which is, I think, pretty good. And the problem here is that now if I play something natural like c3, now this move I think is maybe pretty good. Because this is check. So I was a little bit concerned about that. I don't know what the evaluation of this position would be. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to just prolong or just cement the knight on c5, but I just don't think this is a fun position. Oh, Tristan, #1 VIP in the chat currently that I can see. So I didn't really like that, so I thought I couldn't play c3. So it's like, okay, practical decision time. Let's take on b7, let's get rid of this bishop, and let's make a pass pawn. Now I want you to guess the evaluation here. I don't think that you'll get it right. This is my plan. So everybody's saying equal. I thought it was like -1. I thought I was like, you know, worse, but I thought it was holdable. It's -3.5, and I don't understand why. Don't get it. I really don't. And it makes even less sense when you actually look at what the computer wants to play. I just don't get it. It's too much. It's too high level for me. So my opponent played rook a8, which is only about +2. But for some reason rook a7, and I'm like just completely lost. Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, say I go here, I'm going there. I don't understand. I feel like if he's not careful, I can get some real counterplay. Yeah, you could do this. Play here, go here. But now it's like the evaluation is the same as it was, so I don't really understand. It says king e6. It's fair enough. It's kind of hard to defend. And if I just play rook e2, he plays knight c4. Oh, and this is attacked. Okay, so he needs to be defending this pawn and attacking this pawn at the same time. That's why. Very obvious stuff. But yeah, when he plays rook a8, then, you know, this what happened in the game. I played h4, takes, h5, and I take the pawn. So it's like a trade. Alright, what's the evaluation here? So I played rook h2, which is the best move, and I offered a draw. And he said no. How much time do I have left here? Okay, I'm down to 16 minutes, and he's got 55. So it's I'm like -2.5, like maybe even -3. So it's just losing. Well, of course black is better, but the question is this holdable for white? There are scenarios where you could lose if you're dumb and you just play something like that. Like, I don't know, like if you don't play rook b8, then I play rook c8 and you lose. I'm just saying. I mean, if we're playing hope chess. But he played king f6, which is a good move. And I played rook c8. He played rook e7, which I didn't see coming. And the weird fucking thing here is just for this position and this position only, it's equal. So white to play and draw. I didn't play the right move. I drew this in another way that was just extremely lucky that it worked. So h6, rook e8, then what? If you play rook c6, I have king g5 and you lose. Well, I don't ever want to take here, because then he just has two connected passers. I want to either force him to take here, or at least get some compensation by getting an active pawn. Now, it looks a bit weird at first, but after knowing how the game went, it makes perfect sense. And it seems obvious to me now, although it's not obvious. But it just makes sense. It's just cool. So in the game I played c4, because I thought I was losing, which is not correct. That would hang a pawn at least. So, I mean, and then he has 3 pawns and I have 1. Rook g8, he plays rook e8. Well, yeah. Or just rook e2 looks good. That's probably better than rook e8 in this position. Yeah, so h6 is the right first move, but after rook e8, what do you do? I guess I just play f4, because this move isn't really doing anything. And I'm also attacking the pawns. If you play h6, I have this move, I think. So, that looks good. But yeah, h6 is right, rook e8, then what? I'll attack pawn. Yeah, h7 doesn't work. We looked at that. So you're partially right, Sam. So the right move is trading, which felt odd to me. But the point here is not to play h7, because that just lets the king in, or to play c4. The point is to play king d2. Now, the reason this makes so much sense is because in the game, my king was just completely cut off from all the action over here. But here, the rook has to... I mean, it can only guard here for so long, but eventually it's gonna have to move, or go here. If he only has 1 rook, then it's a lot harder to keep my king out. So this is just a draw. If he plays rook h8, just bring the king in, and then, you know, it's just a draw. I'm sure it's still difficult to draw. It still looks kind of difficult, but the important thing is my king is near the pawns. So that never occurred to me. I just played c4 because I was like, I don't know, maybe I can get some tricks somehow, somewhere. But then he has this brutal move, rook e2, which is just brutal. And, you know, if I trade rooks in this fashion, it's quite bad because my king is pinned to the back rank that way. And that's just not ideal. I threw rook c6 check in, which I think was kind of bad to do, actually, because the king maybe wants to be on g7 anyway. But to be fair, I had 9 minutes, and he had 53. So I'm doing my best here with what I got. And I play rook takes e2, takes... Kind of have to throw that in. And now king d2, or king d1. And I thought he was going to play something like rook e5 or something, but he played the passive rook e7s. Alright, which is still winning, obviously. No, h6 is not good there. This is the best move. So h6, he just takes it, and he has 3 pawns instead of 2. Yeah, and I push my pawn. Now this is coming in hot, so I have to get in there. And now at this point I have 7 minutes. He plays g5. I play c6. g4. Rook d7. Now I only have one trick. I only have one hope to draw, and he just played right into it. So black to play and win here. So f2 would work, except that he takes with check. If he doesn't take with check, then f2 would win. Oh wait, I'm dyslexic. You're saying f2 for black. That makes sense. No, I mean I just take with check, and then I go king e2. If you play king f6, I go king e2, takes. This is draw. So yeah, you can't do that. So king f8. King f8 is a bad move. You have to see the idea, like, because he didn't see it, so he drew. So one of these 3 moves is winning, and the other 2 are a draw. But I already spoiled that king f8 is a draw, so. f7 is a draw. That's what he played. King f6 is the only move that loses. Everybody's saying king f7. No. So I assume you didn't see the point if you're saying king f7. So that's exactly what he said, actually. He said king f7, why allow a check? And the reason that, both these moves, the problem with both these moves is rook d4 exclam. And now he blocked his own rook. And my rook is getting behind the pawns. So, and if he plays g3, then I play rook f4 check, and I'm picking up a pawn. It's just easy draw. So if king f8, I still play rook d4, and yeah, he could play rook g7 here, but then I'm actually winning, which is fucking brutal. Because moves king anywhere, and then I'm taking here and I'm pushing pawn, and my king is close enough, and his king is too far away. So that would have been a way to lose. So yeah, it's done, But yeah, king f6, rook d4 isn't so good because he just plays king g5 or king f5 and just defends the pawns, and I can resign. So that was my one idea. That was all I got. And it happened. I was so happy. I was like, yay! That was what I said. So I take pawn, and then so we got to this position, which is a draw. And I have 1 minute here, I have under a minute. And he has almost an hour, I have under a minute. So he could have found king f6 if he wasn't playing so fast. I don't understand these people. He plays the French, and he plays instantly. I don't think he likes chess. I just don't think he likes it very much. That's just not the, you know. But anyway, I was still being really careful. I was just like playing on my increment here because if his pawn is on f4, it might be a win because it's like the Philidor position. But I always have this fear that even if it's like, if I reach like a position where it's like technically drawn and I know it, I'm afraid I'm just gonna forget it all in the moment. You know, like the knowledge is just gonna leave my brain. But yeah, we repeated moves here and it was a draw. Because black can't make progress. Because I just check. Yay! I could not believe that I didn't lose that game. I was so happy. I felt like Brian Wall. Drew that shit.